Hello.
Hi. We will guide you through the Sunfish HR Setup Wizard.
Wait. What is a wizard?
Before you can use Sunfish HR, you need to configure some settings and input your company data. Our wizard helps make this easy. In the wizard pages you will answer some questions, fill in required fields, and can also upload your existing data by downloading and copying your data to our MS Excel templates. This is Sunfish Wizard page. You can see your company name and username at the top of the page. You can change your profile or password by clicking Change Profile. Click Log Out to end your session. You will need to provide a range of data in the wizard. Some of this is optional and all can be edited later in Sunfish HR. This data includes company information, organization structure, several system setting, attendance setting, payroll and claim setting, and employee data which can be uploaded. Click the following link to start configuring. There is an eHelp document section on this page that contains general tips to help you complete each step of the configuration. Close the eHelp document by clicking the following button. You can click eHelp documentation anytime to reopen it. Company information. In this section, you should complete your company information. Company information include name, type, address, phone, tax file number, tax office, and a few more. Fields marked with an asterisk are mandatory, and information in such fields must be provided in order to continue to the next step. Fields without asterisk may be skipped at this point, but can be filled in later. After completing the required information, two buttons provide different options how to proceed. Click the Save button to only save the entered data. You can come back later to continue. Click the Save and Proceed button to save the entered data and then continue to the next. Organizational unit. Here you can enter the organization structure of your company. There are 3 ways to maintain the organization structure in this wizard. The first option is to click the plus button on the top to add organizational units, such as department or divisions. Clicking the plus button allows adding a new record. Type in the level code and name. A code can be letters or numbers or both depending your policy. In our example, we use abbreviations of the full words, for example BOD for Board of Director. Once you have added a level, you are provided with 2 more buttons, left and right arrows. They allow you to arrange the depth or hierarchy of a level. Shifting an entry to the right means to put it at a lower level, subordinate to the above. Shifting an entry to the left means to put it at a higher level, superior to the above. Click Save and proceed to save and continue to the next section. The second option is to maintain the organization structure through MS Excel file uploads. If you wish to upload an organization structure file, click the Upload button. Will open a dialog pop-up called Migrate Organization Structure. Pop-up provides a link to download a MS Excel template that can be used to upload your organization structure. Click the provided link and open the downloaded file. The file contains a sample organization structure that you can overwrite with your own and amend as necessary. In order to define the depth of a level in Excel document, use dashes as shown. To place a unit at a lower level, add quadruple dashes before the unit name. To move a unit to a higher level, simply remove dashes. The lower a unit, the more dashes it has in front of it. And vice versa, the higher a unit, the fewer dashes it has in front of it. Once you have completed your structure in the Excel file, save it on your computer. Return to your setup page, and click the Browse button. Use the dialog window to locate the Excel file on your computer and click Open so the file is shown as a link in your setup page. Then click the Submit button to upload the organization structure. The third option is to draw the organization structure using the Sunfish charting tool. Click the Draw Chart button to use this option. Will open a pop-up showing a rectangle with your company's name. Right-click on that rectangle. Add New Item to start drawing. This will add a second rectangle. Now, right-click again on the new rectangle. Choose Set Attributes. When setting the attributes, start with the position flag, and specify whether the new item is an organizational unit or a job position. Type in the code, which again can be alphabetic or numeric or both. Full name of this structural level. Preferably enter the name in all languages that will be available in the system. Choose the organization level and the head of this unit. All fields have been entered. Click Update to save the level. Repeat the process for all other job positions or organizational units. Drop and drag a unit and put it at appropriate place. When done, right-click on any rectangle. Use Save All Changes to save the entire structure. Then proceed to continue to the next section. Positions. Here you can enter all positions into the organization unit. Just like organizational unit setting, there are 3 ways to maintain the organization structure in this wizard. The first option is to click the plus button. Clicking the plus button allows adding a new record. Type in the job position code and name. A code can be letters or numbers or both depending your policy. In our example we use abbreviations of the full words, for example DIR for director. Complete the organization structure. You can use left and right arrows to arrange the depth or hierarchy of a level. Click Save and proceed to save and continue to the next section. The second option is to maintain the positions through MS Excel file uploads. If you wish to upload an organization structure file, click the Upload button. Open a dialog pop-up called Migrate Organization Structure. Click the provided link to download the MS Excel template. Then, open the downloaded file. In order to define the depth of a level in Excel document, use dashes as shown. To place a position at a lower level, add quadruple dashes before the job position name. To move a position to a higher level, simply remove dashes. You have completed your structure in the Excel file. Save it on your computer. To your setup page and click the Browse button. Use the dialog window to locate the Excel file on your computer and click Open so the file is shown as a link in your setup page. Then click the Submit button to upload the organization structure. Third option is to draw the organization structure using the sunfish charting tool. Click the Draw Chart button to use this option. Open a pop-up showing the organization units that you set before. You can expand the structure that mark with an asterisk. On the rectangle, use Expand or Collapse. To add a position, right-click on an appropriate unit and choose Add New Item. This will add another rectangle. Now, right-click again on the new rectangle and choose Set Attributes. Attributes. Start with the position flag and specify the new item as a job position. After that, type in the code, which can be alphabetic, or numeric, or both, followed by the full name of this position. Preferably enter the name in all languages that will be available in the system. Have been entered. Click Update to save the level. As for other job positions, up and drag a unit and put it at appropriate place. Done. Right-click on any rectangle. Changes to save the entire structure. Organization levels. This page already shows some data when you marked any structures as unit under the position setup. On this page now, define the depth of organizational units such as corporate, business unit, division, department, and so on. Click the question mark icon to show a suggestion, and click the appropriate option. If your company does not have a human resource department, specify which of the existing departments is also responsible for HR matters by clicking the radio button in front of that level. Finish.
Cost Center. This section is used to arrange the cost centers that exist in your company. Click the plus icon on the top to add a new cost center. Click the arrow to place the cost center at lower level or higher level. You may also upload cost center data using our MS Excel file template. If you have a multi-company structure, you can import the cost centers used in your other companies using the Import button. Then
Job titles. This section is used to link the positions with their job titles and cost centers. Each position can have its own job title, but it can also that one job title is associated with several positions. It is, for example, possible that the positions of marketing manager and business development manager have the same job title.
Called department manager.
Once you typed in all job titles, choose a cost center for each position. Click the question mark icon to do so. Center field on the right, there are 3 radio buttons. These buttons are used to define who is the HR manager, HR admin staff, and paymaster. Tick the first radio button to define the position that is the HR manager. Click the second radio button to define the position that acts as HR admin. Click the last radio button to define the position that is the paymaster. All 3 radio buttons must have been ticked in order to continue.
job grades. Job grades are the levels of employees within the company. They usually reflect levels of responsibility, skills, requirements, and salary. These grades can be classified in a job grade category. Use the plus icon to add new grades. Use the minus icon to delete a record. The question mark icon can be clicked to show suggestions for the grade category. In a multi-company environment, you may import the grades of the other companies using the Import button. When done, click the Save and Proceed button to continue. Work location. In this area you define the list of work locations that exist within your company. You can click the plus icon to add a new work location and the minus icon to delete any unneeded records. With Save and Proceed you will get to the next section when
Employment status. This page allows the setup of the employment statuses used in your company. As before, with a click on the plus icon you can add new employment statuses, and with a click on the icon you may delete obsolete records. If an employment status requires an employment end date, the Security Group, Sunfish HR supports various function and data authorization levels for different types of users. In this section, you can create different user groups and arrange their respective access to menu functions and employee data. With the plus icon you can add in new groups, whereas the minus icon is used to delete unused groups. A click on the glasses icon allows you to review which menus and functions a group has.
Approver position. This setup page allows to define all positions in the company that can approve different types of requests. Determine the keyword, which we call reserved word, that describes the approving position. The list of approvers created here is then used in the setup of the approval workflow. Following the system logic, use again the plus icon to add a new approver position and use the minus icon to delete a record. To determine an approver position, first type in the keyword for it, followed by the full name of that position. Then select the actual position from the drop-down box. When done, click the Save and Proceed button to continue to the next setup section. Note that you don't have to provide a full list at this point. You can always add further approver keywords later in Sunfish system. Then you do so in Settings. Setting Management. Request Approval. Reserve.
Workflow approval. This section will ask you several questions that help you to configure your approval workflow. Click the Configure or Reconfigure link to show the questions in each of the listed areas. Then answer all the questions in each area. Start with the first area of Employee Data Access Workflow. First question is, does employee have a supervisor? Click Yes if that is the case, otherwise click No. Then answer the second question if supervisors are allowed to see their subordinate information. Click Yes if they are, otherwise click No. After that, tick the checkboxes of the areas in which the supervisor can see their employees' data. Then answer whether the employee is allowed to define the approver. Click Yes if they are, or No if they are not allowed. Click yes to the next question if the manager is primarily involved in employee data changes approval workflow, if that is the case. Otherwise answer no. The question is manager's approval required. You have three options. Manager's approval is for all requests required, only acknowledgement from manager is needed, and a combination of both. Click the radio button of the option that applies. Third option, then use the next page to define all those request types that need a manager's approval, by clicking their respective checkboxes. Decide whether the other approver needs to wait manager's approval or not. Click the yes or no button depending what the case should be. Determine which other position and substitute the manager approver in case she is absent, by ticking the proper checkbox. The similar questions for HR administrator. First, choose the type of data the HR administrator will manage. Decide whether the HR administrator will be involved in the employee data changes approval workflow, or not. Thirdly, answer whether the other approvers need to wait for the HR administrator's approval or not. Fourth, determine whether the HR administrator approval can be substituted. Same range of question will be asked for the role of HR manager. Answer them as demonstrated before. Determine whether the HR admin approver can be substituted. Same range of question will be asked for the role of HR manager. Answer them as demonstrated before. Last time for the role of paymaster. The changes approval workflow. Correctly, click the Submit button. Return to the main page where you have three more approval workflow areas to set up. They are Attendance Request Workflow, Reimbursement Request Workflow, and Career Transaction Workflow. Click the Configure link for each and answer all related questions to define these workflows. Document Numbering. In the Document Numbering section, define number patterns for different types of items. Award types. In the awards section, you can define various internal or external awards that are handed out in your company. Use the plus icon to add awards, or the minus icon to delete records. Awards are specified with a code and name. Click Save and Proceed. Discipline types. In the disciplines section, you can define various disciplines that are used to penalize misconduct. Use the plus icon to add a record, or the minus icon to delete one. Disciplines are also specified with a code and name. On this page, create a list of insurance providers that occur in your company. Specify them with a code and name. Use the plus icon to add a new record and minus icon to delete a record. Banks. In this section, create a list of companies' bank accounts. Type bank code and bank account here. Type the company's account number in this field. Type company's account name in this column. Tick the radio button to set this account as a default bank account. Click Save and proceed to Working shift. In this section, determine all work shifts or daily shifts that may occur in your company. Click plus to add a new shift. Then, enter the start time. By the end time of the shift. Next, type in the break start time, as well as the break end time. Now, give the shift a code and a full name. Repeat these steps for any other shift you are adding. For example, Let's create a working shift in Ramadan as follows. Repeat these steps for any other shift you are adding. If your company has a flexible working shift, then create a flexible working shift. How do you create a flexible working shift? First, repeat the steps for start and end times and description as shown before. Then tick the checkbox to make the shift a flexible working shift. Have entered all working shifts. Click the Save and Proceed button to continue. Working group. In this section, you arrange the individual shifts created before in workgroup patterns for a week, or months, etc. Choose a working shift for each day. For example, a workgroup could contain a working schedule for 7 days from Monday to Sunday. Within this schedule, let's say the employee works Monday to Thursday, from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, with a break from 12 to 1 o'clock. Choose the regular shift for these days. We assume a longer break time on Friday, from 11:30 to 13:30. So for Friday, we then choose the shift Friday, that we had created earlier. Add another new working schedule, click the plus icon. As another example of a working group pattern, let's assume there are employees that work in a 14 days pattern with 5 days break. The working shift for each of the 14 days as follows. The working group shifts for 14 working days. Management. In this section, configure your company's annual leave, long leave, and permits parameter. To set up or manage annual leave, long leave, and permit conditions, use the configure or reconfigure links for each area. The system will then ask several questions that help to determine the parameters. Start with annual leave and click configure or reconfigure. Answer each question with yes or no, or simply click continue as required. You will see a configuration summary for the annual leave area. Submit button to save the configuration. Process for long leave, and answer all questions related to this area. Configure the long leave. Next, continue with the configuration of full day permit conditions. Full day permit page, you see a list of standard permits, which you can edit to match what is available in your company. To add a new permit type, click the plus icon. You can also delete a permit type by clicking the minus icon. Finished editing, save the permit list. Configure the half-day permit conditions by answering the questions the system provides. And click the Submit button to save the configuration. 4 areas have been set up. Click the Proceed button. Tax location. Enter all the tax locations where your company files taxes. You can add a tax location by clicking the plus icon. And you may delete a tax location by clicking the minus icon. When done, click the Save and Proceed button to continue to the next section. Payroll period. The payroll period configuration is completed via a question and answer process. Click the Configure or Reconfigure link. To show the questions, first, type in the date on which your company usually pays the salary to the employee. Secondly, answer the question: does the payroll process data from attendance? Answer is yes. Type in the attendance start and end date to be included in the monthly payroll. Join date of the respective month, until which new employees will still receive their first salary in the ongoing payroll period. Determine whether the new employee will receive their full basic salary or a prorate one against the joining date. Next, answer the question whether the salary is based on working days or calendar days. Calendar days means all days in the period, including holidays. Whether reimbursements will be paid with the payroll or not. Click yes, if that is the case, otherwise click no. If yes, type in the interval next. Whether the employee or company pays the tax for the questions, who is responsible to pay the tax. Borne by the company means that the company pays employees' tax as if the employees paid their taxes. However, the company does not pay the tax of the tax allowance. Answering all the questions, the wizard will show you a configuration summary page for monthly payroll period. Click the Submit button to save it. Now continue to configure the holiday allowance. Click the Reconfigure link to do so. Answer all the questions the wizard asks in order to define its parameters. Summary for holiday allowance, before clicking the Submit button, to save it. Question and answer process, to configure the remaining 2 areas of bonus allowance and obligatory insurance. All questions and allowance before, they will also provide a summary page that should be saved. Click the Proceed button to save all component. The Sunfish system provides a list of several standard payroll components, which you can modify. More components can be added if need be by clicking the plus button. For each component, decide whether the amount of the allowance is varying or relatively fixed. Select the type of calculation each allowance is based on. Is it based on attendance, overtime, or manual input? Component affects the tax amount. Tick the checkbox after the field component type. Reimbursement claim. In this page, you can create a list of reimbursement employees can claim number of month. You may upload your employee data using the template available at this link. This allows you to convert that you already have in a digital format. If you plan to enter the data one employee at a time, you can skip this step and start entering employee data later. It will appear, and you can click OK to download the template. Open the downloaded file in MS Excel or another editor. The green header are required, other columns are optional. Save the file. Excel file. Submit to upload the data. Warning appears, there is a minor problem in the upload. But your data have been stored in the system. For example, In record number 1, there are no supervisor and manager for this position because he is the most senior person. So, that's okay. And the data still can be stored into the system. If reject appears, there are major problem in uploading in that employee's record cannot be stored. For example, the work location in MS Excel file does not match any work locations configured previously. Correct your data in MS Excel file or through the settings, then click Submit again. As each upload takes some time, we suggest you check and repair several of the rejections before resubmitting. Records with the reject status anymore. You can view your uploaded data in a pop-up window and continue. Structure by clicking this icon.
Upload employee address. You can upload employee address in this section, or skip this process and enter the data manually later. Click the provided link to download the template. Fill all required fields below as indicated by the green header columns. Employee emergency contact. In this section, you should upload your employee's emergency contact data. Click the given link to download a template. Fill all required fields below the green header columns.
Employee leave. In this section, you can upload employee's leave balance. Click the given link to download a template, file. Fill all required fields below the green header columns. Close the file. Put the data and make adjustments before uploading again. Then click Proceed.
Reimbursement. In this section, you may upload the employee reimbursement data. Click the provided link to download a template. Fill all required fields below as indicated by the green header columns. Then save the file. Browse the file. Click Submit to upload the data. Warnings or rejections, and make adjustments before.
Employee salary history. In this section, you can upload your employee's salary history, such as monthly payroll, bonus, and other periodic payroll records. A complete payroll history for the current year helps Sunfish ensure that monthly tax calculations are correct. There is no need to upload payroll data further back than the current year, and you can choose to skip this step for now. Provided link to download a template. The downloaded file. Fill at least all the fields in the required green columns. Data. Link to upload the data. Open the downloaded file and complete data of all employees. Enter the pay date. You have reached the last step of the wizard. Here you can verify the result of your configuration. Tick the data if you are confident that the data is final.